Hey there folks, Andrew here, how you doing? I just want to do this little video. A lot of people messaged me after I made the announcement about my latest book, and a lot of people asked, how on earth do you lock yourself away and write a whole book in a week to be something like 45,000 odd words? And it's a really interesting kind of a question. So I just want to have a bit of a chat about what that looks like for those of you who are writers, those of you who are thinking about writing a book. So two angles: how do I manage to kind of that to happen, and then what does it look like when I'm actually on a writing retreat for me to write a book? And I've done this many times now. I've got quite a system. So first and foremost, the ability to be able to write lots and lots of words. There's a couple of pieces of that. First of all, it's just the first draft, and the first draft is always going to be a bit ugly and messy. So, whilst I might do 45,000 words in a week, it's the beginning of the book process. It's not now I'm going to press send and I'll print, and then the book comes out the other end. The second part of that is I do a lot of work in the background. I do a lot of work in the build-up. Like, I've been working on this book, The Bigger Button, for over 12 months, longer. It would have happened sooner if I hadn't had to have that surgery at the beginning of the year. So I've been planning, mapping, stress testing, creating frameworks, thinking about the stories that I want to share, all of that kind of stuff for a long time. And the whole point of that being is I do the research, I've done the book pitch, done all the planning, done everything I need, so that I reach a point where I go, okay, I'm ready to write. So I don't come away on my writing retreat figuring out what I'm going to write. I don't come away figuring out what's the structure going to be. All of that is planned, all of that is ready. I come away to do nothing but write. Now, sure, some of the structure will change, and chapters will change around, add some, lose some, but really my plan is 95% ready. So that enables me to get here and head down, bum up, write. And that's how I'm able to do so many words in such a short amount of time as well. I'm not stopping and thinking, should I include this? I've already done that kind of heavy lifting. And I think for anyone, I would say that that's a really important piece of advice for aspiring authors is, before you start writing, make sure you've done all the homework. Make sure you've done all the background work. Make sure you've done all the research. Make sure you've got your stories organised. Make sure you're really ready to write. And the words will flow a whole lot easier. Then the other part about it is, so what does a writing retreat look like for me? A writing retreat for one, or for two. I bring my dog Bloom along. And I, again, have followed this process, as I said, for many years now, many books. So first of all, I like to go somewhere that's quiet and isolated. So as you can tell, behind me is the beach. I'm in the Bay of Fires, and I kind of go to the same place. And I like it here too. The internet is terrible. That's a good thing, right? So it stops you doom scrolling, wasting time, downloading. I can't even get Netflix or anything like that really here. So there's no distractions apart from going for a walk on the beach or driving, half an hour back into the town to do what? I don't know. So having a venue that's comfortable, so it's got everything you need. I've got an open fireplace, well-equipped kitchen so I can cook good food. And it's quiet. There's nothing here really but wombats and wallabies and the odd quoll. Then it's a good place. And look, I don't want to be Indiana Jones kind of thing. It's got to be warm, got to be comfy, got to be all of those things. So I make sure that I have a venue that kind of works, and it's far enough away from home that I'm out of my home headspace. I plan to come here, as I say, just normally by myself. It's not a recreational week, it's a work week. I'm here for a purpose. And the leader, she understands that. She leaves me alone. She lets me do what I've got to do, because I want to write when I want to write. And sometimes that might mean I'm going to write for 18 hours and then kind of sleep for 18 hours. Or, I might get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and decide I want to write. It's not daiquiris on the veranda, and then at 3 till 5 I'll smoke a pipe and jot a few jovial words. It's work. I'm here to write the book, but just do it in a way that I can. The next part about it is that I come very organised as well. So I have a writing plan. If I'm here, this trip I'm away for 10 days, and that's kind of 8 days of writing. I know my word count that I'm aiming for each day. I've got a rough structure on how I want to write each day. I kind of schedule out my day, get up early. It's winter, so, get up when it's light, about 10. No, get up, you take the dog for a walk, make a good breakfast, get a few thousand words in before about 9:30. Then a bit of a break, do a few things, just work out my schedule according to day. In amongst that, I do generally try and have at least one full day off of writing. Probably this time that turned into a catch up on some stuff for work, unfortunately. But it's just what you got to do. Because I do find that if you write, you start to get a law of diminishing returns. You start making more mistakes when you get tired, you get less word count. So it's good to have a break in there somewhere as well. So organised, I've got everything I need in terms of writing as well as living. I don't need to duck into town every day to buy stuff. I'm fully equipped and self-sufficient to cook, to write, etc. I have an overall plan, and then I develop a daily plan as well in terms of what it is that I want to do. And I do that. On the fridge, I have a big giant post-it note. This is my word count target. It's what I'm aiming for each day. I achieve that, a bit of a reward. I might, read for a few hours or, watch a movie that's on my laptop or whatever it might be, or, just spend more time, go for a cruise down around the beach, etc. And then really it's a matter of doing it and being strict and not, going, I'll do a few hours work here, or I'll just kind of check my email there, or, the internet here is absolutely atrocious. It's fabulous. There's only so much I can do online, and that really helps me to avoid that as a distraction. Then the goal, first draft, leave here, first draft is done, then I can start doing the tidying up of that as well. You might have noticed, excuse me, too, in the post that I published a cover. So that's the first really kind of run at the cover, thanks to Julia Kouris, my cover designer. And I like having the cover design before I come on a writing retreat like this. It really helps me to visualise the book. It really helps me to focus and imagine, what the book will look like when it's in people's hands when I'm writing it. So that's a good little tip too. And you'll notice that I did the first post about this book when I'd reached that kind of writing milestone as well. And that's a nice little, hey world, this is coming, it is now. And it just, it's nice just to, after a pretty intensive week of writing, to just get that reinforcement and encouragement from your fans, readers, community, family, friends, all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's a brief insight. That's how I managed to get a lot of words done. I do a lot of work before I get here to make the most of this kind of opportunity. Again, I'm super organised before I get here and while I'm here. And I would like to say, if you can, and I get that it's a very fortunate position to be in, that I can come and live in a place like this and just shut off to the world for a week, all the rest of it. It wasn't like that when I first started writing. I used to write my books from midnight till 4 a.m. I was running a business that was super busy, didn't have any money, demands on my time, etc. Sometimes when you're starting out, you just got to write the book, and do that, and I hear it's what stops a lot of people from writing it. The kids, I'm too busy, I'm too this, maybe it's a commitment thing more than anything else, or self-doubt creeps into the conversation. So if you are in a position to be able to say, well, I could get away for a few days, or I could get away for a week, I would highly recommend it, because the quality of what you write when you immerse yourself like this is so much better. It doesn't require anywhere near as much work to pull the manuscript into shape, and it's a really enjoyable process because you think about the topic so much more, you think about it so much deeper, that again, you end up with a much better end result, in my view, and ironically, probably much faster as well. So that's why I write like this, and that's why I'll, next foreseeable future of writing books, I'll always do the same thing. Get fully prepared, plan a week away, 10 days in an isolated kind of location, and then, write your little heart out. All right, guys, hope this has been helpful to the authors who are watching, and a bit of an insight into how I do what I do. All right, take care, everyone. Thanks for your kind words and support. The bigger button is coming soon. See ya.